What's up, everybody? It's Alycia, and you are now watching Unscripted. Okay, so I was born in Macon, Georgia. When I was about 6, I moved and I lived in Columbia, Missouri. Shout out to the 573. It's about an hour and a half away from St. Louis, so that's where I grew up, went to elementary school all the way through high school, and yeah.
All right, how was it growing up in Missouri? Was the area rough? Was it fun?
It was fun. I have a lot of good friends from back home. I would say it was a good place to grow up. Real secluded, very good family town. Had a lot of fun growing up. Lots of friends back home still, so had a lot of fun growing up. Real safe place, not a lot of danger, violence.
Now, are you the only child, or do you have any siblings?
So I have 2 older siblings. I'm the baby. I have an older sister, her name's Tia, and then an older brother, his name is Cameron. Tia lives... Am I getting too detailed?
Okay. It's unscripted, so just be open.
Okay. But yeah.
All right. So what got you into music? Do you come from a family of music, or?
So, not really. No one in my family does music or anything, which kind of makes me feel like the chosen one, I guess you could say. But growing up, I did choir, at school and in church, and I've just always been around music. I really got into music from acting. I've always been into acting since I was real little. Started when I was about 6 years old doing plays and musical theater, so I think that's kind of where I got my love for music, and then from there, just joining choirs and listening to music. I've always been a big fan of music. I listen to a lot of different kinds of music, country, R&B. My dad, keeps me up on all the old school music, so growing up listening to that. So I've always been surrounded by it, but haven't really had anyone to look up to in my family for it. So I guess I'm the one.
Was acting your first goal?
Yeah, so I would say that acting is my very first love in the creative and arts world. But I also have had a lot of experience with poetry and acting and all that kind of stuff. So I always was into songwriting and all those kind of things. So acting was definitely my first love. I have a degree in theater actually, so I definitely planned on going into acting, but music is definitely very strong in my life too, so I figured why not do both.
I got you. Now, tell me, what does your process look like, your creative process, when you usually put a song together? Does it start at home? Do you do everything in the studio?
Since moving down to Atlanta, I definitely do most of the stuff in the actual studio, but previously back home, I would basically write entire songs. I have a little studio set up at home where all I know how to do is put in a beat to the software and just record my vocals, just straight vocals. So I would do that, then go to the studio, show the engineer and be like, this is what I'm trying to do, and just record. Here, since I've been more comfortable with my artistry and music in general, I'll just usually go into the booth, play the beat, off the top, just see what kind of vibes I'm feeling and just go off of what I say.
Okay. What do you feel your music, who do you feel your music relate to the most?
Probably women, I guess. I don't know. I feel like it relates to everybody. When I do write, I try to write to what I know people are going to want to hear and vibe with. So in my head, I don't necessarily think oh, this is, good for a girl to listen to or for a guy to listen to. I just think of everyone in general, the vibe, what people want to hear in the club or what they want to hear in the car when it's a rainy day driving on some Drake shit type shit. So it's I really just base it off vibes and the sound of the beat. So that's what I would say. It goes for everybody. I want everybody to listen to my music, young, old, hip, not hip, everybody.
Okay. Now, as an indie artist,
Yes.
What advice do you give to yourself to keep yourself motivated and keep going?
The biggest advice I think I would give myself is just everybody started somewhere, and that I don't need to feel or like belittle myself for not being as far as I want to be, because at one point everybody was exactly in my shoes. So I think just looking up to my favorite artists really gives me the encouragement to go, okay, if they went from where I'm at now to where they are, why not me? So that's usually how I keep myself going and encouraged, because it is hard, but I know eventually it'll pay off. So.
Okay, so now if we was to go and get into Alicia's car, what artists would we hear the most? Who get the most playtime in your car?
Probably Kehlani. I listen to a lot of Ariana Grande. I listen to a lot of Justin Bieber. I listen his like new stuff though. I'm like, I listen to everybody, but I feel like what I listen to, I don't necessarily listen to the artist. I listen to like lyrics. I listen to the arrangement of the songs. I listen to ad-libs. I listen to like the structure of songs. I think it's hard being an artist because we know what goes into music and like what goes into the process. So I like analyze music, I guess you could say. But those are the people that I look up to the most in regards to those type of things. So that's probably why I listen to them a lot. But they are also just amazing vocalists in general. So
if you had to choose one, who would it be?
Probably Kehlani.
Okay, yeah, I got you. Is that the if you had to choose also to do a song with one of them, is that who it would be also?
Yeah, probably her. I would be honored to do a song with anybody. I would be, yeah, but yeah, Kehlani, I probably would be like, absolutely, because we're just kind of the same type of vibe. But I really think that like me as an artist, even though I listen to all those kind of artists, I feel like I don't try and like copy or do certain things that they do. I try to be like a melting pot. I learn different type of I'm being so wordy. But you am I?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I'm trying to say like, but you didn't even ask the question. That's why I'm like, why am I even going? Yeah, like, okay, so, like, for instance, Ariana Grande, like, her melodies, her harmonies, she's a goat at, like, melodies and harmonies. And, like, Kehlani, I admire her, just her lyricism. She'll sing about anything she's going through. She can write it and sing it in a way that is different. I try, and that's, like, what I do with my music, because I write most of my own music, which, well, let me take that back. I write all my music, and that's what, like, I try to do. Like, I literally think in my head, okay, what am I trying to say? Now let me try and say it in a way that hasn't been said before. So I admire that in Kehlani a lot with her music. So, but, yeah.
She shot the deuces up. All right, now, as an artist, do you plan on remaining as an indie artist, or do you plan on signing with a major label?
So that I've been asking everybody that question here in the A, because since I am an indie artist, like I feel like there's a lot I need to learn just in general about the industry and the music world, all that kind of stuff. But I know it's important to be an independent artist. I know that if you take the steps right and you know, get a good fan base and I guess quote unquote blow up as an indie artist, people say, you know, stay that way. Like, don't get trapped into no deals, blah, blah, blah. But I also understand that with the right deal with the label, that can also push you to a certain level as well. So I think it's all just about being smart with the deal you're signing, making sure that what you sign for is legit and is gonna help you in the long run and not hurt you in the long run. So, and I think just being with the right label in general, like that'll let you be the creative you want to be and not put limits or, you know, make you be a certain way that you're not and put out music that you don't really want to put out. So it really just depends. I would be super grateful for the opportunity, but just being smart about it.
I got you. What would you say is the biggest thing that this year has taught you?
Probably just being resilient and not being afraid to step out of your comfort zone. And I learned that firsthand, basically moving down to Atlanta all the way from Missouri. I have friends now, but none of my like close friends back home are here. I have an uncle and a few cousins that live in the Atlanta area, but really I'm out here on my own trying to figure all this out. So I think just not being afraid to take that step, regardless of, the risks that, you might run into, or risks, I guess, being alone doing it. I think it's worth it. I'm very glad that I moved out here, and it taught me that I can really do this, and I'm a boss bitch. That's what it taught me.
So did you move out here to chase your dreams, or why did you move down here?
Yeah, basically. I originally, I guess, throughout my college, I was like, I'm going to move to LA. I'm going to pursue my acting. I'm going to pursue my music. But over the course of my college years, I started thinking about it. I'm like, okay, everyone's talking about the A. I have family down there. It'd be more, realistic to move this way. Atlanta's really booming with the music. It's, coming up with the movie scene. Lots of productions are opening down here. So I was like, okay, maybe the A will be a good move. Back home, it's just not much for what I want to do. There's not a lot of exposure back home in Missouri, so I really needed to leave to really pursue what I wanted to pursue. And I think I have a pretty good fan base back home, so that'll definitely help once I, try and build up my fan base here, and just collectively as a whole, trying to put out projects and all that kind of stuff. So I definitely moved out here to chase my dreams for sure.
Okay, what can your fans expect next from you? Any albums or anything that you plan on dropping soon?
Yeah, so I've definitely been working on a lot of music while I've been down here. I've been trying to be patient. I think that's the number one lesson I've learned, is just being patient with the process and really doing quality over quantity. That's the quote. And just taking my time with it. But I am trying to drop an EP by April. I have a couple of singles that'll definitely be coming out within the new year, and just keeping it pushing. I'm also involved in a couple of film and TV productions that I'll be able to talk more about once that process is done. So I have a lot of exciting things coming out and that are very new and exciting. So those are things coming out. Oh my gosh, I hate my life. I'm so wordy, but you get the point. I have a lot of good stuff coming out, lots of things coming out that I can't really talk too much about because of certain legal things, but I'm very excited, and I'm very excited for people back home to see, for people here to see, and to help push me forward in my career.
All right. All right, so how can people get in contact with you?
So they can get in contact with me on my Instagram at Alycia Nicole Official. I'm on TikTok as Alycia Nicole Official. I'm on Twitter as Alycia Nicole OFC, which stands for official. It's too long to put. You can contact me through there, through email. You'll get all that information. I also have a website, AlyciaNicoleSolomon.com, that you can look at and, see all that has more of like my acting experience and acting reels, all that kind of stuff on there, as well as my music. But those are the ways that you can get in contact with me.
So,
oh my gosh. Those are the ways you can get in contact with me.
so
Why is it going downhill towards the end of the interview? Like, why?
I don't think it's going down here.
Okay.
Yep, your story actually reminds me of Jennifer Lopez, like how she started or whatnot with dancing and acting and things.
Oh,
of that
yeah.
nature. Yep.
No, for sure. I've always said, I think it's definitely me being a Sagittarius. We're super creatives. And also, like, shout out my parents because they let me try different things growing up. They didn't, put me, oh, she's a great actress. Like, let's just keep putting her on stage. Like, no, I was interested in songwriting. So they definitely were, helping me pursue, like, my songwriting lessons and music as well. Like, they were very trying to keep me very well-rounded. And although sometimes it kind of freaks me out because I'm like, ugh, I love all of those things so much. I just try and put it in perspective. I'm like, whatever avenue, if I try my best at whatever, all those avenues, one of them is going to get me in the door. And from there, I can, you know, explore all my talents. So I just try and work on all of them, keep them all sharp. And whatever opportunity takes off, takes off. So.
You know, I thought you was from Cali.
Everybody thinks I'm from Cali.
Yep.
I've heard that multiple times.
That's why I thought you was from
Which
Cali.
is so funny. Why do it seem like, is it just the way I talk?
I think so.
I think so.
Your songs, though, got Cali vibes to them.
Do they?
Yep.
That's so funny. Well, you know how, so anytime I tell people I'm from Missouri and like I'm doing music, they're like, oh, who's from Missouri? Like who's, and like literally all I can say is Nelly.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, I think people just aren't, which me and him, obviously we don't sound anything alike, but I'm like, I think it's just people, there's no one from the Midwest. Like there's no like really like R&B female artists. So it's like, I feel like my sound is just a little different. You know, it's like just trying to figure out what it is.
Country twang.
No, I
got people from
don't.
St. Louis, they're hard.
Which is so funny because my dad's from Georgia. So my dad's Southern. My mom's from North Carolina. She's country. You know, like they have, you know, Southern accents. So it's like I grew up with that around Southern family. But it's like since I grew up in Missouri, I don't know if it's just, I don't know.
I definitely thought you was from Cali.
I know. I've gotten that multiple times since being here and just from other places. People are like, are you from California?
I don't know. You just got that Cali swag.
I wish I was from Cali, but no, shout out to Missouri. I literally would rep Missouri. I know people are like, that's whack, but I'm like, I got to rep from where I'm from. Yeah, 573, yep, repping it all day. So we'll see. Maybe I'll be the next Miss Nelly. Never know. He paved the way, so we'll see. Love you guys. Throw up a heart sign.